Starting on the right side, our blue Protoss currently at 2 wins. He is
Infinity 7 iSAxlsav.
bottom crosshair. We've got our pink Zerg. He is. She is.
Scarlett, who I think is announcing her new team on Monday.
Do you know what it is?
I can't tell.
You would know what it is. Wait, if you know what it is. She's practicing with Axlsav.
No, I can't tell.
Okay. Well, we are seeing the early scout here from Axlsav. Gonna be Forge Fast expanding, obviously. And Scarlett probably just gonna go 14 pull like every other. Hope close arrogant though. Oh, she is right. Now, I am waiting to see if she goes 14 pull or 15 pull here. She goes 15. So she is not following the standard of every other Zerg tonight. And yeah, for this map, I think close air makes even less of a difference than something like Metalopolis. Metalopolis especially. I mean, close air, you're somewhat close. Here, it's pretty much the same. You can deny your opponent from taking the island easier, maybe, which isn't going to happen anyways. Axlsav playing it safe, going Forge first here. Nexus after. Could cannon rush if he felt mean. And look, this is what I was talking about, but he didn't actually put down the pylon there. He could have, though. He was saving up for the Nexus. He could have delayed the Nexus in order to prevent a third base from going down. But Zerglings are on the way right now. Only 2, though, so it's actually going to take a little bit to actually knock down that pylon. So it will delay that essential third from coming up. But I don't think it's going to matter too much. The Ling's even focusing down that probe a little bit. Losing its shield. And that pylon dying very slowly. But at least Scarlett got the third base, so I think she's going to be fine. It's going to be a little harder to transfer drones down there. And she'll probably want to knock down those rocks as soon as she can, but in the meantime, she will be able to get her second base up. A natural second. And already a queen just making the long trek to try to get down there over to the third. Probably should have just done a creep tumor, but eventually going to make it down there. Ling's going to go out for the scout now. Cybernetics Core's already down. The Lord sees the position of everything here at the front. And it's probably going to want to back off by the time the Cybernetics Core comes up, otherwise risk losing that. There she goes. Already backing it off. You sound like you fell asleep.
Nope, I was just hungry.
No.
I bought $30 worth of steak this afternoon because it was raining, so I drove. Instead of getting ribs. Instead of getting ribs. Because it was raining.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I might as well get a steak.
You only walk for ribs?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wish I could do that. I wish ribs. I wish anything good was in walking distance for me. Stupid Kentucky. Drones transferring down there all the way to the third. And second base already up. See where Scarlett actually takes her tech here. She's finally going up for the 2 gases. Somebody was asking, what about the Spanishiwa build? It's basically alive in any kind of quick 3 hatch. I don't think when Spanishiwa made that build that people were really taking quick third bases yet. But it's still essentially there. There's no need for the early gas, especially in a PVZ. TVZ maybe. I mean, Lings. You probably want speed if you have to go against any kind of heavy marine numbers. And if you do want to pressure that second base or prevent it for a little bit, you will want to get speed. But versus Protoss, it's not really going to matter. probably going to be fighting Zealots and nothing else in the early game. At least before you could get speed off getting a light gas.
Yeah, there's a lot more attacks than Titan can do where you actually might want speed or would benefit from speed. But you know that almost nothing is going to come from Protoss for quite some time. I mean, usually 8:30 to 9 minutes is the only time that you're going to see pressure, and you're going to have plenty of time to scout it. So the late gases are perfectly fine. There's just not much you can do with opening Forge and expansion. So standard ZVP right now is around 620, 630 to get your gases. Around 705 to get your Roach Warren if you're concerned about any kind of forgate pressure. And then from there, it's kind of variable. You just get your Roachling and try to deny that it's Protoss third. Try to get to your Infestors, even if the timing depends. If you're going for heavy Lings, then you want your Hive around 14 minutes so you can start those upgrades and get Adrenal Glands. And then from there, it's up to you based on what composition the Protoss is going. But the amount of experimentation and, you know, knowledge that's come out of this matchup has kind of led to build orders that extend all the way to that 15, 16 minute mark almost, just because of how static or how similar all these situations are. When you have so few units, the variability of, you know, who got the better engagement that you see in TVZ just isn't there always.
So Scarlett, after seeing this quick third base from iSAxlsav, an 8-minute expansion, wants to try to pressure it. We are seeing 7 gateways total now up for iSAxlsav. The other 4 about halfway done. So in terms of will he have enough units, we'll see. He does already have 2 Immortals out, so versus the Roaches, iSAxlsav may be very well off here. Got quite a few force fields already saved up on these sentries. A lot of Lings here, but no speed quite yet. It is still about 10 seconds away. Clear Reconstitution about 4th away from finishing. Roach is slowly coming up. And actually going to pressure the second. There are 2 cannons here. Might be able to snipe that Forge, if nothing else. But she really wants to get in here. 3 more cannons coming up in the third, so the time to actually push in here is starting to shrink. Roach is trying to take down that Forge. Meanwhile, Ling's just doing hold position micro on top of those probes. In terms of workers killed, 5 killed off that attack.
Yep. This is kind of the new age of PvZ, trying to get that early third and defending with a lot more Immortals versus the Roaches. And very nice pickoff there, stopping +2 weapons. That is huge. The Immortals benefit so much from that attack upgrade. And now they're going to be doing 5 less damage per shot against the Roaches. So both delaying those upgrades and delaying how much damage those units are going to do, both defensively and if he decides to make a push.
It does seem like Scarlett is going for that 12-minute max timing. She's at 183 right now, still 20 seconds away.
Yep, and starting a 4th base as well. Picking up a couple cannons, but nice force fields trapping a lot of those Roaches. The Immortals with their 6 range able to shred through those relatively quickly with no repercussions.
Yep, Ling's going after the probes. Roach is just trying to take down the cannons. They'd probably be better off just attacking the warp gates at this point. But more reinforcements just pouring in. A lot of the units sitting here at the second. iSAxlsav afraid to actually bunch up the rest of his army, so definitely a favorable position here for Scarlett as she continues to just try to deal damage on the front. May continue to just bust here before the rest of the cannons come up. More force fields go down. A lot of sentries here. It's almost pure sentry coming up for iSAxlsav, just getting as many force fields as possible to hold this.
Yeah, he wants desperately to hold here. Income tab is 65 harvesters in favor of iSAxlsav compared to the 62, so he's actually ahead on workers here. So when he holds this, he'll actually be in a great spot.
And now it is 70 versus 68 with 12 more drones on the way for Scarlett. So that is going to be 82 drones. She does have a 4th base up now. Could probably afford a 5th. She's starting to float about 1,000 minerals. Still at 173 supply. This is actually a good position for her. And she's preventing iSAxlsav from really doing any kind of tech off of this. I mean, he has been devoting everything to just continue to try to hold this. Blink's on the way right now. +2 weapons just started, and +1 armor is being researched in the main.
Yep, Scarlett in the meantime going for her Infestor transition. That's usually what you see Around that 13-minute mark is when usually Protoss can actually hold that third, and you should just kind of pull back and stop making additional units. Although here we go, trapping some more roaches with some nice force fields. Supply is incredibly close right now, 169 to 164. Scarlett stopping the unit production, just content with the amount of roaches and lings that she has here at the front. iSAxlsav actually adding on a Stargate. Oftentimes you would suspect that Colossi would be the next transition, or Mass Gateway, but going for the entire spectrum here, adding on the Robo Bay and the Stargate, maybe suspecting that there's going to be some very, very fast Broodlords, which is possible. He doesn't exactly know what our drone count is, and so it's actually possible to get that really fast hive and go into like a 16-minute Broodlord timing.
I mean, the other possibility is to go for a quick mothership here. Just make one very effective push. 4 more gateways are coming up. It's going to put him up to 11, I think. Still off these 3 bases. Looks like he's going to be able to break out of this. The Roach is getting trapped. Only about half actually attacking with this army. Now Scarlett resupplying back up to 180 supply. iSAxlsav at 170. And here comes the push. Nothing being used from that Stargate quite yet. The Robo Bay does finish. And we are seeing
double
the
spire on the way for Scarlett. And there goes the fleet beacon. So it is going to be a mothership. Adding on the 4th base. Perfect timing, 16 minutes. Very, very common. Even adding on the Templar Archive, so wants to be able to get to that Archon toilet status. Although pushing against this is going to be very dangerous if she locks down those sentries with those fungals.
She did. 1 good fungal down. I think more fungals could go down here.
Oh, iSAxlsav with some clutch force fields there, able to retreat, but taking a lot of damage. Needs to make sure not to get caught out in the middle. Do the units actually see them? Yes, they do now.
One Roach does.
The 4th base.
Oh, a nice
there goes
fungal.
The fungals.
More force fields going down.
Forward.
Could throw down a lot more Infestitarian, really, if you wanted to try to... Well, she is going to get forced back, I think, with the number of force fields actually getting thrown down, and she is starting to run out of money. She has a 5th base up here, both gases built, but not utilizing them yet, and also has the 6th base up here on the top left. So she's good on bases. Probably just needs to spread out the drones a little more, or utilize those gases, but she just needs minerals, to be honest. Mothership's on the way now. Being built in the 3rd, which is probably the safest base to be building it, to be honest.
Yep, the most centralized location. So, has the shortest travel distance in any one of those spots. Very, very tucked in, furthest away from the Zerg. Right now, both players are going to go home, lick their wounds, essentially. Infestors are going to gather energy. Mothership is going to gather energy once it pops out. Some Archon's going to be made, some Colossi. Those upgrades going to continue for both players. Hive about halfway done right now for Scarlett. Also working on melee attacks +2 and flyer attacks 1-1. In the meantime, iSAxlsav adding on that thermal lance, going to be able to hopefully range on those infestors. Also adding storm, shield level 1, and weapons level 3. So this is going to be some very, very well upgraded units. Right now he's at 2-2 as he goes to work on this 6th base for Scarlett over here at the top left.
I imagine the Mothership is going to be super effective just from the fact there's no Spore Crawlers actually being built here in the middle. There are no Overseers up on the field.
Yeah, she's going to have to rely purely on fungals, I guess, to reveal some of these units.
She has plenty of fungal saved up, so it could work. Zealous trying to run in here as well, some of the units were starting to burrow.
Those went down very, very quickly. Greater Spire is on the way. More Colossi being added. Melee attack level 3 on the way, as well as Carapace level 2. But iSAxlsav really throwing down a lot of more gateways. He's going to be able to resupply very, very quickly. And the Mothership is out right now with 70 energy. You do need 100 for Vortex, so not too long before he actually feels a little bit more comfortable pushing out in the middle of the map here. But let's look at the units tab. Do we have any Archons yet? And the answer is no. He's still at 176 supply, now up to 180. Adding on some of those High Templars. Question is, how many he's going to save for Storm, and how many are going to be for Archons?
Maybe going for a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have a lot of Stalkers, Dark Shrine's a little bit easier to make Archons out of, just a little bit less gas. It's kind of what your
main... revealed. Roaches coming in for a little bit of an attack since Scarlett has been maxed out and floating so much money at this point.
She wants to make room for Corruptors, I suspect.
Unpowers the Cybercore, which essentially does nothing.
Unless you want an hallucination. +1 air weapons.
20-minute hallucination. Roach is actually going after the 4th base at the same time. Killing off a couple of the probes. She doesn't actually know about the 5th, but looking at the harvester count, 83 to 76. Even with those kills, it's very close, and it might favor iSAxlsav in the late game with a couple less probes just means a larger army.
Yep, Scarlett already starting to drop some more spines, getting up 6 Broodlords and 12 more Corruptors on the way. Oh my goodness.
More Roaches just sacking themselves right now.
Yeah, she needs that supply.
Yeah. Well, this is actually a really effective way to do that. She's keeping the army back at the same time.
I would like to see her go for something like Drop or Nidus, and at least be able to threaten taking the islands. Be a little bit more mobile in case of a base race. I tend to think that those upgrades are really, really key in the late game, regardless of what race you're playing against. But right now she's doing a great job sitting here in the middle with a ton of Corruptor, Broodlord, and Infestor. And that is just a perfect composition. Plenty of Spine Crawlers guarding each path here. And she is just sitting pretty on those 5 bases right now. But right now we do see Armor level 3 coming up for our Protoss, along with 3 extra Stargates. Void Ray is so good to add on in the late game, maybe even adding carriers. I think iSAxlsav is one of the only people that actually talks about using carriers. I haven't actually seen him use any yet.
Her upgrades are actually really nice right now. I can't tell what her melee upgrades are, but she's getting flyer attacks level 3, which is something you rarely see Zerg able to get.
She's got melee attacks level 3.
Good.
Those Broodlings are going to be doing a ton of damage, going to be able to fill up that entire corridor if the Protoss engages in a choke. Right now, Observer going to push back the creep as iSAxlsav is taking the next base. So he's going to take his 6th base here. Scarlett's still on 5. So forcing her into doing something, essentially.
Yeah, the thing here is iSAxlsav banking his money. He's up to 17 gateways. I've counted.
Oh, look at this Broodlord spread. So good. So many Zerg just get so overconfident when they hit these Broodlord numbers.
She has so many. 16 Broodlords? My God.
It's a good unit, man.
16 Broodlords, 16 Infestors. She doesn't have a ground army. It's nothing but Broodlords.
Broodlings and Infested Terrans. Best ground army a Zerg can have, man. But right now, iSAxlsav adding on 1-1 for his air weapon, so I guess he did repower that cybernetic score. 3-2-3 on his units right now. He does have some of those Archons. 4 Archons in the mix here.
Oh, Mothership coming in the main right now.
For the Mothership. He's going to go after the production. That's what it looks like.
Uh-huh. And there we go.
There it is. Very nice use of the mobility. Taxing the Broodlords to try to reach him. And he's going to clump him up. There's a nice Vortex. Oh.
Broodlord's getting sucked in by...
Terrans in.
Not even that many Archons getting in at the moment.
Pummeling a lot of those units. Nice feedbacks going down. Broodlords do escape, taking a ton of damage from the Archons.
The Archons killing off all of the Broodlords right now. Just so many dying at the same time. Infested Terran getting thrown onto the high ground. Both players losing a lot, but Scarlett... Oh man, so many Broodlords going down in that one tunnel.
Graviton Catapult is being researched. We are going to see carriers from iSAxlsav. 174 supply to 137. Scarlett saying, oops, with the Broodlords. Question is, can she hold on? She's still got plenty of money.
She's got 18 Corruptors on the way to try to deal with the Colossus and the Mothership, too. So there's not really a whole lot here. If she can just get the units out, take care of the Mothership and the Colossus, she should be able to clean up the rest.
Needs to make sure she fixes her rally as, oh my goodness, an entire swarm of Corruptors popping up from the natural, immediately annihilating all those Colossi. Can they get the Mothership? Do not want any other Vortexes here. And now the rest of the army from iSAxlsav looks incredibly small here. 117 to 144 supply, but only a couple Immortals, a couple Archons, a couple Stalkers here for iSAxlsav.
4 carriers at a time coming out.
4 carriers.
And he's already got
arm flipping. They do get sniped off though. Observer there in range to spot them.
Oh, and blinking to the low ground.
And 50 supply difference in favor of iSAxlsav right now, breaking down the rocks to that third base.
Force
Link's
field's
trying to surround everything.
Force field saving all those stalkers. They can't even get to the stalkers at the moment. More Infest Terran coming down.
Scarlett still with a decent amount of bank, but iSAxlsav still with a ton of money as well, maxed out. And there it is, GG. Just a perfect Vortex. iSAxlsav, again, pulling those units far away, making so that they clumped up when they tried to get in range, unable to keep the spread. Scarlett just went down there. The Archon's just too much and unable to spam the Infested Terrans within the Vortex to push the Archons away. Just could not get up the ramp against the feedbacks there. Beautifully played by both players, I gotta say.